Okay, we've been talking about the letter O, and it says ah. And do you remember we got in the mailbox? Let's see if we still have our friend and if he's still in the mailbox. Let's see. Oh, I think I see his tail. Uh-oh. Now we gotta be real careful because otters are very hyperactive. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. I'm gonna have to put him under my leg to hold on to him. Look at that. He's so active. Hang on now. Well, we've got a card here that tells about otters. Otters really like the water. They live in the ocean. And you see the O right there? It says otter. They really love to swim, and they're very, very silly. They roll, they tumble. They love it when the ocean has big waves and they can just ride up and down on the ocean like a roller coaster. There's a special thing they like to do that's really funny. There's a grass that's like a seaweed, and it grows from the bottom of the ocean up all the way to the top of the water. And it's called kelp, and it's kind of a seaweed. And they like to go through it and hunt for things to eat. But you know the funniest thing they do? They wrap themselves up in the grass. They wrap it around and around and around. And then they just lay back and float and let it hold on to them. Maybe at your house you could get a blanket and you could lay down and grab the side of the blanket and roll yourself up in the blanket, just like the otter rolls himself up in the kelp. Now, when Oscar was a baby, his mommy would lay on her back and let him lay on her tummy. And then, when mommy has to go hunting, she takes him over and she puts him in the kelp and wraps him up, and he just floats there and sleeps and rocks with the water while she goes hunting. She's gonna go dive down to the bottom of the ocean and look for crabs and for oysters and for urchins. Urchins are kind of like a brown ball, have little things sticking out, little pokey things sticking up, and they're round and they're different colors. So they probably look like candy to her. You know, pink ones, purple ones, yellow ones. And she goes down there, and guess what she does? She picks up a rock and she puts it under her arm in a pocket. Her fur, the fur on her body, God put a little pocket in her fur under her arm. We don't have anything under our arms, no pockets. But God made little pockets under the arm of an otter. And she takes a little rock and she puts it in her pocket. I wonder why she does that. Well, then she grabs a crab or she catches an urchin and she goes back up to the top of the water where she's got her little guy, Oscar. She's got him just all wrapped up there. And if he's still sleeping and everything's okay, she lays on her back. She takes that rock out from her pocket and she sets it on her tummy. And then she takes that clam or crab or urchin, they all have shells, and she whacks those things on the rock and it cracks open the shell. And then she can eat the fish that's inside. Now, when she's done, she's got a big mess. She's got shells and all kinds of things, pieces all over her tummy. You know how she gets that off? She rolls in the water. She rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls over in the water, and the water washes it all off. And then her table's all clean. And then she might hear Oscar whimpering a little bit, so she'll unwrap him and she'll put him on her tummy and she will give him milk. And Oscar will be so happy. She's a very good mother. And she'll have to teach Oscar how to swim, put his face in the water, kick, and how to dive down underneath and hold his breath. But she's a good mommy, she will teach him. So, now, you could lay down on the ground, on your carpet at your house, and see how many times you can roll over, just like the mom Oscar does when she's cleaning herself. Now I'm going to ask you a couple questions and see if you can remember what I told you about otters, okay? Okay, where do otters live? Do they live in the ocean? Okay. And what do they wrap up in that grows up from the bottom of the ocean? Seaweed, grass, kelp, something like that? That's right. Seaweed or kelp, they roll in it, and then they can sleep. And then they can play in it too. And then, what do they eat? Do they eat crabs, oysters, urchins? That's right. Hey, I bet you know this one. What do they have under their arm? A pocket. That's right. What do they put in that pocket? A rock. You're right. And then they lay back and they float and they pull that rock out and they put it on their stomach, and then they break open their crab or their urchin, right? Okay, how do they clean their tummy all off? They roll in the water, right? That's right. Good job. I'm glad you got to hear about the otters, and you know a lot of things you can tell your mom and dad about them now. All right. So thank you for listening. We'll catch you next week on Monday. Bye-bye.